Well, welcome to the Small Talk Podcast. I'm Mike Smallegan with the Smallegan Real Estate team. Today we have Beth Batts with BB Consulting. So welcome.
Thank you, Mike. I'm really happy to be here. This is going to be fun.
It is. So tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, what I get to do is what I love to do. I am a lifetime learner, and what I get to do is help people.
Okay.
I do. I get to help empower them within their business to meet their potential. And so, potential means change, doesn't it?
It does.
So I get to help them with their change process and going from where they are to where they'd like to be, and every step along the way to getting whatever it is out the door or changed within their business. Maybe it's a process or it's a service or something. And it's
kind
all
of broad.
about change. It is kind of broad. Everyone likes progress, but change is a little difficult.
Yeah.
So I get to be there and say, this isn't so bad. We'll do the change together and watch this. We're going to have some progress.
That's good.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing that?
I have just launched BB Consulting last November.
Okay.
So I have been doing this sort of work wherever I've been. And it's been really interesting. So now I get to do this as a consultant. And so I get to meet a lot of new people along the way.
You're welcome to the world of independent contracting, huh?
I love it.
Yeah. So what was the inspiration to start your own company?
It really was. I was doing a lot of this. The inspiration was the love for learning. And I really like it when I see someone else have an aha moment.
Okay.
Maybe you see that when you see somebody find that home. And they're like, this is my house.
That's kind of what I became, right? As a real estate team leader, I'm now more of a mentor coach and helping other people achieve and grow and learn to do more, right? So, and that's a lot of fun. I get a lot of passion and joy from helping other people now, which I didn't think would happen in the beginning, right? I got into this business thinking I was going to work for myself and I wasn't going to have employees, and I was just going to buy and sell real estate. But now it's the career has turned into so much more than that.
I know. It's always about the people, isn't it?
Yeah. It's fun. I didn't think I was a people person until I became one. So
that's great. That's great.
So what are some of the, skills that you would need to do what you do?
For me in particular, the perspective that I take, Mike, is I would say the skills are, first of all, a good listener, someone who can step into a conversation with the other person and then step back and listen to what they need.
Listening's important. I struggle with that sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah. It's my ADD, right, gets me to a lot of times I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next instead of actually listening, but I've been really working at listening and kind of being in that moment.
It's hard to take that pause when you have an idea and you're like, oh, I know what I could do to help you.
Yeah.
And then maybe that isn't exactly what the other person needs. So that is where the listening comes in too, for being a consultant or probably a leader like you are. Right? It's like, okay, let's listen to where you are first and then we go forward. So the skill set would be just like that, doing the listening piece. And then a lot of times what I find, Mike, it's really interesting. Someone thinks they want a thing. Most of my clients think they want a thing, and it's usually the how. Yeah.
I just read a book about that.
Did you really?
Yeah. Who, not how.
Who, not how.
Maybe that's not exactly the same thing, right? But it's
it sure
so who, not how was about basically like you can't do everything. Sometimes you need who's to help you do things and to get things done, right? Not how am I going to do something. It's who is actually going to help me do that.
Right.
Yeah, it was a really good book.
Oh, I bet it is.
Yeah.
Will you share it with me?
I will.
Oh, that's great.
We read a second one right after that. 10 times is easier than 2 times. So we do a monthly book club in that those have been some of the books that we've done.
Wow. I was just reading a book called Essentialism.
Okay.
And it takes it down from us saying yes to everything and understanding that when you stop in that moment, kind of like you and I just talked about, where we go, I should listen a little bit first, and deciding whether saying yes to that thing is saying no to something else that might be
normally important. Is. Yeah.
Right. So that essentialism is a good book.
There's a lot of books about the same kind of thing, I think.
I think we must need it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's important. Yeah. So, where do you find your clients?
Well, I find my clients usually through word of mouth, and I have an incredible marketing designer, Vivian Rhodes with Vivian Works, and she's helping me a lot with social media, my webpage, all of the things, and things are coming our way through that, as well as I have an affiliation with the IPEX program, the Institute for Professional Excellence at Davenport University. So there's kind of a partnership there. So I get to do work with them. And so I get to be in the market to do that sort of thing. And it's going to be more and more through the marketing that Viv is doing.
How did you get connected with Davenport?
I got connected with Davenport. Someone reached out to me because of my background and said, "Hey, would you like to help facilitate within our IPEX program?" And I said, "Absolutely, 100%." And so I was lucky enough to be able to facilitate. It was a virtual cohort for Ingham County. They were doing their certificate for management program. So we just did this last, I think it began in March or April.
Okay.
And that's done, and they have their certificates of management, and they're just happy as clams. So the IPEX program is a great program.
So are your clients like one specific type of industry or career path, or that it kind of varies?
It varies. And you know what's interesting within the realm of from manufacturing to customer service, the what and the how are usually about the same. Some people might want change in their training program, right? So a train the trainer program, or let's revamp the training program. So I'm doing that right now, just finishing up with a local transit company. And we love our Grand Rapids buses, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. So those types of things, it's like, do we need change management, leadership development, a training program within a manufacturing, a customer service? You know, how do we align things within a company who has a culture that needs a little bit of a shift toward more employee-centered culture? And right now, Mike, it's a lot about attracting and retaining their employees.
Yeah,
it's such a tough market right now.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we've been pretty blessed the last few months and growing when a lot of other teams and brokerages are losing agents. We've actually done pretty well with that. So,
I'm sure.
And for us, it's really been about celebrating the wins and not taking all the credit for yourself. So, and that's been kind of one of the main changes I've seen with our team.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody from OC Tanner yesterday, and their whole thing is about employee recognition. They put in systems and processes so companies can truly recognize their employees in relevant ways. And it was all circled back to what you're talking about, which is celebrate the wins because it's the other person and that we are as a team, and it's not about you.
Right.
Right? So,
Yeah.
Isn't that fun when you see someone go, "Oh, wow, you just recognized me"?
Yeah, it's figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
I get a lot out of that too when others recognize me, and I can appreciate that, and also try to do that more for other people. And it's been a game changer. So
it helps everybody. It's empowering to yourself as well.
Yeah.
You get to feel good about the other person that does too.
Yeah. So when you partner with a company, do you set specific goals, or how do you help them get to the next level? Is there something, is it goal setting typically, or?
It usually is. So let's just take an example of a training program, right?
Okay.
Someone says, "Come on in. We're thinking this isn't working. Either we're losing trainees at a certain point, the product or the process or the service that we're providing, we're getting feedback from clients that that's not working." So truly what happens is I come in and we do a discovery process. So, you might come to me and say, "We really need a new training program. I think we do." And I might say, "You know what? I don't know that we need a whole new training program. Let's take it apart. Let's do the scope and sequence."
Sure.
So we do a discovery lab, right? Let's have a conversation, and that's where the listening comes in. And then we set goals through it. We put in the whole scope of the project, and then I let them know, walk them along. It's just like planning on going on a trip. You know where you want to go,
Right.
and then you Google map it.
Yeah.
and
You
then
got to figure out which hotel you're at. Okay.
You figure out all
Where
the
you're
parts,
eating.
how you're going to get there, and then what to pack, and make sure the kids get in the car, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I get to do, is put those parts of the puzzle together, because companies and organizations don't have the time to do it. Like they know, oh, we need to do that. Oh, we need to do that. And finally they get to the stage where like, we don't have time to do it. We need somebody else to help. And I can do that. I have the time. So I just kind of muddle it together, put it together for everybody, set those goals, make it very clear as to what's going on, and then hand it back at increments and say, how are we doing?
I'm sure a lot of times too, it's when you have a new set of eyes on a problem or a situation, there could be someone that has a different point of view on how to handle the problem or the changes that needed to be made. And a lot of times people want to continue doing the stuff they've always done, right?
We've always done it this way. Yeah, right. There was that old adage that somebody brought up where you chop the end of the roast off because that's how Grandma always did it, and then you find out that it was because her roasting pan was too small. So let's move. Let's go with what we really
That's
have.
why Grandma did that.
That's why.
Yeah.
But isn't it fun?
Yeah, it's true, right? Just because it's been done that way doesn't mean it's the right way.
That's right. Yeah. And that's where that change comes in. It's not easy to do change, is it? It's a lot of work.
Right.
And so what I have loved is to watch saying, this isn't really that much work. I'm going to take some of the load off of the work part that feels so heavy, and you get to do the new thing. And let's just try it. Poke holes in it. Go ahead. Let's do it. It's because it's not about me as the consultant at all. It's about the client and what they need and what they want, and watching how they do things in the first place and saying, could maybe we tweak this? Go ahead. Let's just try it. Give it a whirl.
Yeah.
See if it works. And if it's like, nah, that really doesn't work. Well, okay. So did the old way work any better? No. Okay. Let's try another new thing. Why not?
I've found that a lot with myself, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't always do things the right way, and sometimes someone on the team will come up with something different or a better way to do it, and you got to be open to listening to that stuff. I mean, it's hard to sometimes for sure, but you at least got to listen.
Yeah. So. We can do that in our personal lives too, right?
Yeah. Speaking of personal, what do you do outside of work?
Oh, I get to play outside at the lake with the dogs.
Okay.
We go camping.
How many dogs do you have?
We have 2, a little Yorkie and a Dachshund. So,
Okay.
Yeah, they're fun.
A Dachshund.
Yeah,
I had one of those a long time ago. He had a personality. So yeah, he was stubborn.
Oh.
He liked to, whatever he wanted was the way it was going to go.
That's exactly right. That's Greta for sure. And she's very verbal. She lets you know exactly what it is, especially when she wants to go in the lake and you haven't noticed yet.
Which lake are you on?
We're on Campaw Lake, right up there near Caledonia, Alto area.
Yeah.
So that's just
It's a nice
outside.
lake.
It is a nice lake. Great community, right? One of the great communities in the greater Grand Rapids area.
So did they do anything for the 4th out there?
Oh, they sure do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great fireworks. And the association, it's a volunteer piece that they do. Gosh, it was really good this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just actually bought a cottage on Selkirk Lake, which is by Gun Lake Casino.
Okay.
And,
south of us then.
Yeah. And they did not do fireworks. We had to do our own.
Okay.
But I guess the guy that typically does the fireworks every year moved.
Oh.
So I didn't buy his house, but he moved. So we'll have to work on that next year. So that should be fun. We did a lot of fireworks, but the lake didn't do any fireworks.
They were just watching theirs.
Yeah, they got a free show. So cool. So what do you do to like relax and recharge? Is that the lake?
It is gardening. Love to garden. Anything outdoors, Mike, just to recharge. And I like to just do a little meditation.
Okay.
You know, I think I was doing it before it was cool. I was just being quiet for a while. Believe it or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's so just to take a break, really recognize what's really great about my surroundings, the people around me, reflect on that. And so that's how I get to recharge.
It's important.
It's so important.
Yeah. Do you do the like in the morning to write appreciations down?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
And
I got to get better at that. I don't like to write.
We could just think about them. Stick them on,
that's
text
more
it to
what
yourself.
happens.
Yeah.
But cool.
It's great that you start with that thought process, you know?
So reading these books, right? These business, self-help, personal development books, all of that, that's stuff you get. A lot of times it's the same message, right? And the book that we read, 10 times is easier than 2 times. What I got out of that, you mentioned gardening, right?
Yes.
Like gardening's not something I like to do.
No.
So I originally started a garden 4 years ago because I thought my kids would want to do it with me, and it would be something we could spend time doing together. They don't like to garden either.
Oh.
So we're not going to garden anymore. We're going to buy our vegetables at the grocery store.
Okay, there you go.
So it's just finding what you have passion in, what you like to do, and do more of that. And the stuff that is chores and you can leverage out,
right?
Do that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's so true. That's what essentialism was saying too, just to do that sort of thing.
So what books or podcasts or things like that are you into right now?
Well, I just finished Essentialism, and then I love just listening to Brene Brown.
Oh, she's great.
Anything I can pop on.
Dare to Lead was one of my favorite books.
Yes. The Power of Imperfection was kind of my gateway to, and I did that with several other people, so we got to talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And just getting those little snippets from her, every other day I see something pop up, something like that. I really like that sort of stuff. So anything that's kind of a softer space for, internal development, and then sometimes I'll push myself even more to the podcasts or the audiobooks on business.
Okay.
Specifics. So
yeah.
I grew up in a family business, so it feels like business is just life. So yeah. I'm getting to that point where your point,
yep.
separating home.
Trying to, yeah.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you listen to Ed Milet?
No,
so
but
we
I
just
should.
went to the Jeff Glover conference
you did?
in Traverse City, and Ed Milet was there, and he also was at Family Reunion at Keller Williams, and he's got a really good message and has a really good powerful podcast too. So I would check that one out.
I'm definitely going to check that out. I'm sure somebody in my life has told me that I should probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you find balance? Like, how do you control having enough personal time and not letting work kind of take over your life?
You know what? You brought up a word, and it was leverage. I leverage my accountability to my partner because we have a really good relationship. Yeah. So we can say to each other, hey,
take some time
you
off.
You need to take a little break.
Yeah.
What do you think? How's it going for you? And making those noticing statements. So each of us get to do that for each other. And then that sort of gives me permission to do it. And then I can learn better how to give myself permission to take a break.
Sure.
Right? Especially starting
It's
business.
good to have that person, right? The who that kind of helps keep you motivated, but also keeps you kind of grounded at the same time.
Exactly.
So have you lived in West Michigan your life, or how long have you been here?
I grew up in southeastern Michigan.
Okay.
Over closer toward Toledo, Ohio, right?
Yeah.
So,
but in Michigan still.
But right in Michigan, Monroe, Temperance, Michigan area.
You're safe then.
So yes, yeah. Right. So it's still my state, and then moved here, pushing 30 years ago.
Okay.
So I got to watch all the growth that this city has gone through.
Well, what there wasn't a Grand Rapids?
It was just being able to move up toward where we had been.
Okay.
We found ourselves coming this way.
Yeah.
And it's like great schools, great community, a good place to raise kids and have all the fun things to do in all the seasons, actually, because we're very active. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you like to do in Grand Rapids? Like, what are some of your things?
Well, I love the downtown market. The Fulton Street market is incredible.
Yeah.
If I could just go to all the farmers markets in all the towns around, like the Ada Market, all of them, that's what I love to do. And the restaurants here really, when I moved in, we had the Red Hot Inn over here on the corner and some chain restaurants.
They're talking about like making that into a food truck.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
The Red Hot Inn is going to be a food truck. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Or maybe it's Red Lion, one or the other.
One of the two.
Yeah, maybe it's Red Lion. I think it's Red Lion. But
it's all the things you can do here. And it's really interesting with the growth, just to see Ionia grow from the time I was here.
Yeah.
To go, wow, this is a really cool place. And their festivals are incredible. You did something about the Greek Fest.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, yeah. It's always a blast.
The Grand Rapids just does have a ton of stuff to offer. And
it really does.
We do a weekly what's going on this weekend video. And like every weekend, there's just something, right? It's like a highlight reel of like stuff to do in Grand Rapids.
And it's for a range of people.
Yeah.
Right? Which is really great. In some cities, it's hard to find that, but here you can find that for sure.
So if someone were coming to Grand Rapids, what would be one thing you would say they would have to do?
One thing.
Restaurant, or let's say one thing they have to do, and then one restaurant they would have to go to.
Oh, I would say for experientially, to get the most out of it, go to Meyer Gardens.
Yeah.
You get the art. I mean, we have incredible art museums, but the whole experience, you can be outdoors and see living art. You could probably stop by and maybe get into a concert, that sort of thing.
There's some good concerts there.
They have a great concert series. So that would be one place I would go to. A restaurant. Now that's hard because we have a lot of great restaurants in our city. I would probably try to think of the last one we went to, but somewhere fun and has a lot of variety for people with different tastes, and it's kind of a casual and a revamped atmosphere would be the Greenwell.
Oh, I got a gift card to there. I should get down there.
You should.
Yeah.
And it's fun because where they're located, you can walk up and down the street, and it's great.
I'll have Jeremy add that to the list.
Add that to the list, Jeremy.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
We go to lunch and then we do videos on the restaurants we go to.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
There's one outside of Grand Rapids proper. I probably shouldn't tell you about it because it's a small place with the best steak night ever. And you have to make reservations, and you could drive right by it because it's in the middle of Alto. It's the Alto Bar. They have
I've not been there.
They have the best bourbon selection.
Really?
And they do. You can flip through the pages. So
I think we might have to add that to the list too.
Might have to. You look up Dave Burns. He'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So running a business in Grand Rapids, like what would you say is unique about the Grand Rapids business community that might be different from other areas?
Well, it is a close-knit community. You can probably talk to 3 people and they know 2 other people that you know as well. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
As far as collaborating and feeling that that close-knit part. The other part is making the stretch to think more like a bigger city. And I think it's happening. It's for sure
happening fast.
Like
I drive down Fulton Street and there's a new building pretty much every day. Maybe I don't drive down Fulton Street enough, but it does seem like every day we're getting something new, or there's a big crane up, or a new restaurant opening up. It's really good to see. I've been here my whole life, so this is all I know.
Have?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I grew up probably a mile from the farmer's market. I remember walking down Fulton Street past the farmer's market, and there used to be a Meijer on Fuller.
On Fuller. Okay.
I don't remember exactly. I think it was Fuller, Michigan. There was a Meijer there.
Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't the Meijers that we have today. It was more like a grocery store Meijer.
Okay.
But it's I've never left. I've never lived anywhere else but Grand Rapids. But this, I don't want to live anywhere else. So
it's great. I did move away for a little bit, moved to Chicago. And as they say, Gravity Rapids brought me back. I couldn't wait to get back across the lake.
We're actually going to Chicago at the end of the month for a concert. So, but I'm almost like kind of anxious about just getting around in a city like that. So, but it'll be an experience for sure.
It'll be fun for sure.
Yeah. So, is there anything that maybe I should have asked you that I didn't?
I can't think of anything that you.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I am just very excited about the next steps with my business. And this is the kind of thing I love to do.
Network,
talk to people, and get the word out that there are people out there that look at things from a human-centered design, and I'm one of them.
Sure.
And so I'm really hoping to get more of the word out that I'd love to have conversations with people.
Yeah. But, well, that's awesome. Yeah. So you do a podcast also?
I do. We did our first taped our first 4. So the first one's going to come out mid-July.
Okay.
You can look at that. You can go to bbconsulting.com and find that and sign up for the newsletter. And that will let you know when the podcasts are coming out, who's on them, what's the subject, and what else we're up to.
What is the general idea of the podcast?
Most of the podcasts are separated by types of, really approaches that businesses can take to empower themselves. So how do I do this? Like one of them was about, oh my gosh, we're talking about what actually has existed for a very long time, which is neurodiversity, right?
We actually just took a class in that. About neuroscience anyway. Yeah.
Right? So everyone in a room is diverse as far as their neurological makeup, but neurodiversity is being an inclusive piece in the DEI structure. So that's one of the things.
Yeah.
So, and I was just speaking with an HR expert about that. I spoke to another person, and she's truly about DEI and how do companies do that and embrace it in a way that truly is inclusive and not performative. And then I spoke with someone else who said, you know what? It was an insurance person.
Yeah.
Tony Pay. Right here.
Tony's great.
He's great. So that's, who knew that could possibly be an attraction and retention tool that you could use? Insurance. Who'd have known?
Yeah.
Who'd have known that? And then another person that I talked to, and we're going to do two together, and we were talking about what is change, kind of like you and I talked about. What is change management? Why do companies, when they're doing change, are they growing? Are they downsizing? What are they doing? So the structure of the podcast is, how can we help? Or you might be thinking about this right now in your business. Come on and listen, and then see how we can help you.
Well, to have growth, you need change, right?
Oh, you do.
If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results.
Same result.
It's good that there's people like you that are helping businesses kind of achieve that, right?
Yeah. It's a great journey.
So how could someone get a hold of you? So your website, BB Consulting, and then phone number. Do you do social media?
I do social media at LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay.
So look us up there, and you can always, just sign up for the newsletter, because that's the best thing to do. And you'll see those things on LinkedIn and Facebook. And of course, just hop on the website. There's you just scroll down and boom, you can be informed right there. So yeah.
It's a great resource. So thanks for coming in today, Beth. It was really a pleasure talking with you and getting to know about your business and your love for Grand Rapids. So thank you for sharing.
Well, thanks for having me here.
Yeah.